New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about the first summer league game of the off season. All right, because the Knicks played the Hornets and lost 90-94 in the acrylic. Okay, we were down 2 points a few times in this game and just could not pull it out. I think it was a lot to do with nerves, but we're going to talk about it all. But before I talk about it, I'm going to introduce you to my guy, the Latin assassin, my man Lee Escobedo. What's going on, Lee? Oh, you muted, Lee.
I said, good morning, Jay Ellis. It was a hell of a day yesterday. Not only did we have a very close and exciting Knicks preseason game, we almost had a presidential candidate assassination as well. It was a wild day in America, but you know what? At the end of the day, God bless America. I'm glad that we live in this country, the best country on earth, even though it's full of hella problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening outside of Knicks land. We're glad to be here. So let's get to it. Let's just get to it. Knicks, there was some good and some bad, but some promising things that I saw from the Knicks loss to the Hornets. The Hornets are a formidable team, mostly because of Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller was giving people problems in the regular season, in the regular NBA. So when we had to face the Hornets and we had our rookies guarding Brandon Miller, in my mind, I'm like, uh-oh. I was just like, it's going to be a long night, or a long day rather, but also a good test for these Knicks to see where they stand and where they have to do to get to the next level. But I'm going to start with some positives, though. I think all of y'all could agree there was a few standouts, Jacob Toppin being one of them, but also Tyler, our Knicks point guard, Tyler Kolek, really stood out to me. He, as advertised, was a great playmaker, got into the two for the defense, set his teammates up, hit a three, was efficient, didn't have any turnovers the entire night, and just seemed like he had a nice pulse on this game, and kind of he's as advertised. He's a guy who directs traffic and can get this team organized, something that the Knicks might be missing from their second unit. So, Lee, what did you think about Tyler or just the game in general?
I would make a quick note on Brandon Miller. Very, very impressed with him. The Charlotte Bobcats have been a poverty-stricken franchise for just about as long as they've been around. And it's really nice to see them actually choose the right person. That pick was derided when they chose it last year. People didn't think he should have went second, and he's proven the haters wrong. He is the perfect complement to LaMelo Ball, and I hope Ball is able to get back healthy because he's shown some really strong flashes in transition. Right. Speaking of Miller, and thinking about a 1-2 punch with him and Ball running the break, man, that's going to be very, very hard to stop. I hope that team stays healthy and really starts to push the tempo, because Brandon Miller, I think, is a future all-star in this league, even though he was playing against minimal NBA level talent. He was a continuation of what he showed in the regular season, as you mentioned earlier, and I think he will only continue to grow. That being said, let's talk Knicks. Tyler Kolek was agreed the bright spot, along with Pakame's defense. I loved Kolek's vision. I saw an array of passes. It wasn't just like one kind of pass. He was really trying out the whole gamut. You saw some scoop passes, some chest passes, some hook passes from him, finding his teammates, which he had very little chemistry with. So all that came from intuition and reading the defense and reading the offense and finding where his teammates are going to be. And what I like the most about him, he's not just a very high-level IQ passer. It's about his timing. He really maximizes the live dribble and keeps the dribble going until the guy that he wants to hit is in perfect position, and then he lets that thing fly. And that, to me, was really demonstrated in this beautiful lob pass that he threw to Jacob Toppin. And I was like, that might be the best lob pass I've seen since RJ Barrett to Mitch. It was way above a three-point line, and he made way to the right second to lob it, and Toppin being Toppin, both the Toppin brothers, you throw it up there, they don't grab it and throw it down. And it was a really nice connection. I just thought about, what if that was Mitch? Or what if that was Sims? Or what if that was OG? What if that was Bridges? Like, man, this guy could actually spell Jalen Brunson and keep the offensive momentum going and do something that Brunson isn't necessarily naturally gifted to do, which is bring the best out of his teammates as a playmaker and facilitator. Kolek would like to have the whole bad. I really think Leon got a steal here. I'm surprised in general that he went as far as he did, but especially the fact that he wasn't a first-round pick. I don't see anything about his personality besides the meme saying he can't read, which obviously wasn't true because he read the defense super well in yesterday's game.
Real.
I'm not sure why he wasn't a high 20s pick, which I think if he was, Leon still would have taken him, maybe 25th or 26th if he would have fallen in the first draft. Or there was rumors that another team was looking at him, but this guy's a first-round pick. There's even an argument that right now, based on the summer league I've watched of other teams, he should be taking the teens. Very, very high IQ. Not the most athletic, but man, that dribble really gives him a higher level of dexterity on the court because he has such a tight handle and control of the ball and awareness around him for what the players are doing. Again, all of this in the context of he doesn't know these guys very well. There's not built-in chemistry here. This was brand new and maybe a handful of practices, and that really was super impressive to me. Shout out Tyler Kolek, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. He able to put that team on his back offensively, just playing off of instinct. And there's different levels of playmaking when it comes to point guards. There's guys who kind of collapse and they make plays off of the collapse defense. But he collapses, but then he also kind of plays with his eyes a little bit. He'll look off, then dump it off to somebody else. He plays with the timing. His vision and his patience on waiting for the play to develop seems to be beyond his years for a guy who's a rookie. So I agree. He's going to challenge for minutes. I agree. He's going to challenge for minutes. Deuce has been amazing out shooting the three, and defensively, it's going to be a challenge for minutes with Deuce and 9-man rotation. Like I can already see that's going to be a storyline kind of developing. So yeah, definitely I love the way that he just managed the game. And to your point, Lee, athleticism in the NBA, to me, it's why guys get picked a lot lower than they supposed to. Maybe sometimes you can talk about Jalen Brunson, how he got picked in the 30s. You can talk about Jokic, how he didn't get picked until later on. A lot of guys, when you don't have the athleticism, you can't jump out the gym, when you don't have the body, you kind of get knocked down a peg. And I think that's why he fell so low. And I think the Knicks took a gamble because I think they wanted him. They would have picked him in the first round, but I think they took a gamble to trade down and still grab a guy who has first round talent. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy with that pick.
Well said. And I'm going to add one more thing about Kolek versus McBride. The addition of Mikal Bridges moving Dante DiVincenzo to the bench prioritizes playmaking over three-point shooting, because what we saw from Josh Hart in the playoffs, and hearing Tibbs, he's joking about shooting 500 threes, but that's the mission for Josh Hart, is to become a more consistent three-point shooter so the defender doesn't lag off him. It makes it less necessary for McBride to be a spot-up shooter. Now you really need playmaking in that second unit, especially if Mitchell Robinson, and I hope he starts based on how the roster's set up now. He has to. But if he does decide to be on the bench or play with the bench, you really need someone to find him in the pick and roll on the lob. Because if you unlock that, Devo and Hart in the corners or above the break, that's going to be really hard to stop that level of spread offense and motion. It's going to be sick. And to me, when I think about those guys on the court, Kolek makes more sense than McBride now because of the playmaking ability. Again, overreaction, one game, summer league, non-NBA talent for the most part. I'm just projecting. If things continue on this trajectory, it made sense that at the end of the day, that bench unit is going to need playmaking over another three-point sniper. If you can bring in both, man, double blessings.
I agree. I agree. I don't even want to. I'm gonna stay away from this conversation because my mind is going to other places. Like you said, it's only one game, but very promising first game. Shouts Knicks Nation TVs in the chat says, "Hey family, Bacome is a big kid, only 18, definitely 6'9", and 215, 220. You're right. We can talk about Bacome. We can talk about Bacome next, since our family over here, Knicks Nation TV, mentioned Bacome. Shout out to you, sincere Israel as well. Shalom to you as well. All right. What do you think about Bacome's debut?
everything that I've seen the tape, the limited tape that's available on him, and a lot of it is just YouTube highlights, so you don't see the context of the entire game and the momentum. But he's a sniper. He can shoot threes. He's a movement shooter. He can shoot with a defender on him. He can shoot with limited space. He's got a quick release, a beautiful form. My dad and I watched the game yesterday. My dad commented specifically on how beautiful his shot was and how quick the release was on the perimeter. So him having a 2 from 8 game, I'm not really worried about, the offensive struggles. You have the owner of the Knicks in front row watching you, the executive president of basketball operations, and your future head coach. That's going to add some pressure. So I understand that the shot wasn't there. I absolutely believe it is there and will come with it before this summer league is over. But for me, it was a defense. I thought he did a decent job on Brandon Miller, which is a very hard task.
Plus cover, man.
The summer league, Brandon Miller might be the best player playing the summer league right now.
I agree.
Bar none. And I'm not saying that Paco may look like, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. By the midseason, I promise I'll get it right.
Yeah, we all gonna mess it up, and Abby's trying to come in here soon, so she probably mess it up too as well.
I'm not saying he's OG. I'm not saying he's Bridges, and I do not think he will crack the rotation because his skill set is less needed than Tyler Kolek. But I do think he showed some really promising signs, and it means he gets it. He knows that Tibbs is really looking at the defensive effort. Are you at least trying?
Yeah.
Are you moving your feet in an intelligent way? Did you watch in the days leading up enough film to know his general tendencies? Does he like to go left? Does he like to go right? What does he do at the elbow? What does he do at the top of the key? And defend him appropriately. And it showed. Did the man put in some hours and some work on the defensive side? And that was his motivation going in. I like that he only took 8 shots too. That was another key metric. If your shot's not there, get other guys involved and let other guys cook. Don't try to make a name for yourself. Don't try to go out there and your roster spot is secured. Just try to make other guys better and show you can play within the team scheme. He did that. So if you're 2 for 8, don't shoot more shots. Just play defense. Be a decoy, and pass a rock. And he did that, man. I was really impressed by the level of at least contention that he did Pakame. Not saying he stopped him, but it was probably the most of all the Knicks, the best defensive effort that I saw yesterday.
Yeah, especially because he came in with that reputation that he's not the guy who's going to give you 100% effort. So I think I think he was trying to make a statement, or at least the Knicks were trying to like, hey, this is the Knicks. You can't just go over here and lollygag on defense. So you gave his effort. He caused a turnover a couple of times. He just has to learn to stay on his feet sometimes, and he did for the most part. Like the turnover did cause he didn't fall for a pump fake. Brandon Miller kind of rushed into him, and then the ball fell and rolled over. So he did have some good defensive moments. And like you said, I was surprised by the way he was able to just get into the lane freely and find people cutting. I didn't really see that much of his game from what I've known of him. So him maybe just to find open guys was something somewhat of a surprise. And he's just so long and rangy. You can see where it can go if he just gets some refinement and get some NBA coaching. So it was a rough shooting game. But overall, he's an 18-year-old kid. We have time with him. And I was happy to see that he can at least get open, get clean shots to compete on the defensive end. And that's what I need from probably our youngest guy on the roster, I think, right now at this point.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And shout out to Ebony. Seems like she's trying to get in, but she might be having problems because she keeps coming in and out. So maybe she'll make it a little later. But yeah, shout out to him. It had a decent game. And shout out to the people in the chat too who rock with us. Knicks Nation TV, Sherwin, Sinsin Israel, everybody else is rocking with the show. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts on what you think of the game. Maybe I'll shout you out and read what you have to say about the game within the show. All right. Any other standouts? I mean, there's Jacob Toppin for sure. There's Dwayne Washington, who he got dropped, man. That bruh. I'm sorry. the cross, he did well. 26 points from him was ridiculous. But that crossover was nasty, man. Woof. I don't know who you want to go with first. I guess it's better to go with Jacob Toppin.
Yeah, neither of the guys are very consequential to the future of the Knicks. I don't think either of them will be a part of a team maybe in like 2 years from now. Toppin might have a little bit more of promise, moving forward. Dwayne Washington played like I expected, desperate for a roster spot. But I think unlike what Tyler concentrated on, where you have 7 rebounds and 7 assists, he was more about getting his own bucket and trying to score in isolation, score in transition, which I don't blame the kid. He's fighting for his livelihood, his financial livelihood, and trying to set up his family. But he didn't necessarily make his teammates better, and it didn't necessarily lead to a win. So sometimes you gotta sacrifice your own individual stats. And Tom Thibodeau is a high IQ basketball coach. He doesn't really care if you score 26 points in summer league. And I think that was mentioned earlier in the presser as well. You could score 5 and be the most high impact player on the court. And to me, that describes Tyler Kolek. 5 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, was the most high impact player. There's a clear drop off when he set and Joe Tobias came in.
Yeah.
Joe Tobias was about his shot as well. Didn't get his guys involved as much, even though I was impressed with Joe Tobias' ability to get into a defense and still put up shots and not get stuffed. I was impressed with that. But Washington, is Alonzo Trio Jr., man. It's just like empty buckets don't impact winning. Jacob Toppin, I was impressed with until the very last minute when he blew that game, winning that game time layup. I was like, come on. That's the point. I think that's the move that Tibbs would have cared about the most. Not the lobs and the finishes. We know you can do that. That's why you're on a roster to begin with, is your athletic ability. But can you finish in crunch time, which was something that his brother struggled with and has struggled with around the basket, finishing around the rim when it really matters, not garbage time or first quarter minutes, but crunch time. So, both, I think, kind of squandered their opportunity. I wish them both the best. I hope they still stay on the roster and their money is guaranteed, but neither is going to crack the rotation no matter how many injuries happen. Knock on wood, they don't. But I mean, they're both inconsequential and aren't really meaningful for the future of the Knicks.
Well, for Jacob Toppin, Jacob was interesting because defensively, he's a guy who he plays pretty decent defense. His defense is always ahead of his offense. So it's kind of funny because he shot 8 from 16 from the field, which is pretty good, 50%. It's so weird though because he made 50% of the shots, but when I was watching it, it seemed like it seems like he had trouble finishing around the rim, even though he shot 50% from the field. I don't know why that's the way I saw it, and maybe I have to watch something again. But I felt like every time somebody was around the rim to defend, he would end up getting blocked. But then you look up, and he shot 50% from the field, so he did something right. And he's 2 from 3 from 3. That's something he wasn't like a big 3-point shooter last year. I think he might have started developing that in the G League. I think he had like a few 30-point games in the G League. So it seems like there's some continuation of growth from last year to this year. And I think the Toppin name itself is going to kind of grant him some grace because of his family and Obi is here. So he might get a 2-way. I can see him getting a 2-way and sticking around with the Knicks. We've gone from not having enough wings to having more wings than we can spare, and maybe some wings on the back end to develop, a la the Raptors. So he had a decent enough game to keep for me to say, let's keep him around and see what we can do with him later and see if we can keep developing. That's the way I see it anyway.
Well said. I don't disagree with any of that. And his defense was probably second best after Pakame on the perimeter. But a lot of his shots, I will say, came pretty easily. Very little that was in isolation or on a pull-up outside of 3-point shots. Most of it was very minimal defense. So that was my same complaint about his older brothers. When I was watching the tape of Obi, all of his shots came in like catch and shoot opportunities. He had no face-up game, and none of the highlights showed him facing up or backing in his defender. Toppin's kind of the same way. There's not a whole lot of like on-ball skill there, but he's great in transition. And if you need a lob threat, like, hey man, I hope maybe 2 years from now, I really hope he develops into a 3-and-D wing. That'd be a really fantastic, heartwarming story since his brother was traded, but he was given a chance. But I don't see it with the depth that we have.
Yeah, I don't know. For me to be in the NBA, if you're a guy who's like 6'8", 6'9", you don't have to have a crazy amount of face-up game, really. All you need is a 3-point shot, finish around the rim, and defense. And if you're 6'8" and can do those things, you can get a check in the league. Like, you can get a check in the league and be pretty much any team you want to. You don't have to be a starter. You could be 3-and-D, finish at the rim, shoot open threes, lock down the other guy's best offensive player. So he can have a career doing that. So he still has to work on some other parts of his game. Like I noticed that Pacone kind of flashed to the rim on a cut, and he seemed really uncomfortable trying to pass him the ball. So he still needs to grow out other parts of his game. Obviously, Obi is a better passer.
Yes,
for sure. But still decent game from Jacob Toppin. You gotta finish those bunnies, man. Gotta finish those bunnies.
Yep.
All right. Also, Ariel Huckaporti. Hopefully, I'm saying his name right. Didn't see much of him. From what I saw, he has a nice touch around the rim. A nice little floater game. I don't know if what did you notice from him? He didn't play that many minutes. He played 16 minutes and 36 seconds. 5 rebounds in 16 minutes is pretty decent.
Yes.
So it tells me he rebounded well. I have not much to say to him about him really. I didn't notice him that much, except that I did notice he just has a nice little touch around the rim, like in that little floater area, a la Hartenstein. Maybe not to the degree of Hartenstein, but you know, he can do something around there. What do you think about his game?
Yeah, I wanted to see more. I was a little shocked that he played such limited minutes. I don't know if maybe he's nursing some strains or injuries and that limited. There was really no reason for him not to play more than that bum ass Euro who came in off the bench. Like, why is that guy playing 20 minutes and our second round pick is only playing 16? It just like something doesn't add up, and especially most importantly, playing in crunch time. It was at Dimitri's, I don't know how you pronounce his 9-syllable name, man. It's a mess. But that guy finished the game, and he was awful. His turnovers and errors really led to us squandering this game away to where it ended up being Toppin having to hit that layup or not. But it was his defense issues on the other end that cost us the game. That would have been a perfect opportunity for Ariel Hotporty, at least to play along with Polik and Pakame in some chemistry building exercises. I don't know why he didn't finish, and I don't know why he didn't play more minutes than he did.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because the other guy like has some more history at the Knicks, and they're just trying to give him a longer look because to extend his career, and they know Ariel's gonna be okay. That's the only thing I can kind of think of. But yeah, I agree. There was a critical moment. There was a few times the Knicks were down 2, and the Knicks were down 2 in the fourth quarter. And the other guy, he just sweat the bed, kind of like Toppin. Knicks had the momentum. We were down 2. I think Coley gave him the ball right under the rim, and he just blew a layup, like point blank. And then the game went from 2 to 10 in a blink after that blown layup. And it was like, man, where's Ariel? Like, that was a huge play. It's kind of why you can't take these summer league games too seriously because of stuff like that. But you also want to take it seriously because you want to see where guys are. But that was a huge play. But I agree. I wanted to see a little bit more of Ariel for sure. Yeah. But But
did we freeze?
What'd you say? You say anything? Did you freeze? Uh-oh. I think Lee froze. Well, I don't know what happened. It seemed like Lee is frozen. But peace. Well, shout out to the chat. And looks like my Zoom crashed. Okay, that's cool. Shout out to the chat, though. Oh, I don't know what happened.
Yo, I was stuck in the Matrix, bro.
You was definitely stuck in the Matrix. You froze. Ebony is making her way back. All right, here we go.
I don't know what just happened, dude.
I don't know what happened.
It felt like in the Matrix when they pick the phone up and they start going into the phone. That's how I felt.
Well, you know what? While Ebony's getting her stuff together, because we pretty much broke down the game, but so we just kind of let Ebony go probably and just put in our 2 cents. But while Ebony's getting set up, shout out to Nick Yak, Capo, Sherwin. Everybody else is rocking with the show. If you have any comment, you want to say something, let us know in the chat, and we will kind of plug you in and shout you out.
Hot Purdy. I did like his soft touch around the rim. That was unexpected and much welcomed. That's something that we haven't even seen from Jericho Sims yet. But he had a nice little feel when he was in the dunker spot or around the rim. And I was surprised to see that and surprised to see him move so seamlessly in transition toward the rim as well. Like he's got some ability. And I think if he gets enough reps and learns and knits systems, he can find opportunities to thrive in the same way that Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein did.
I agree. Yeah, Zoom must just be acting up because Ebony has gone in and out like multiple times. This is so, man. This is crazy. I don't know what's happening. I know Ebony is frustrated. Huh?
Dripmore just said that Zoom's been having issues on all platforms.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Nick Yak says Huckaporty will be great. D-Rat says salute all y'all. Cody says Tyler Kolek is a winner. Yeah, man. Tyler Kolek is definitely a winner. We started out the show talking about Tyler, and he's a great prospect. I look forward to seeing a bit more of him.
I have a question, Jay. How do you think Tibbs would implement Tyler? Do you think there would be like garbage time minutes initially? Do you think there would be a role, like an expanded role to 10-man rotation for maybe the first month to see who fits better with the second unit between him and McBride? Is McBride's minutes really going to be cut into after performing so well in the playoffs? How do you see that being worked out with the rotation?
I look at, I don't know, I kind of look at his patterns. What's going on? I kind of look at Tibbs' patterns, and what I've seen from Tibbs is you have your job until you lose your job. So first, you already know it's going to start with practice. McBride, he practices hard. Now, here's the thing about McBride. He's not the passer that Tyler is, but he's shown that he's been a playmaker before last year. Like, I think before last year, he was more of a playmaker, and then he kind of concentrate on his shooting to keep him on the floor. So I still do feel like there is playmaking to McBride's game. I just think the Knicks are really intentional about focusing on simplifying the game for him and just saying, you know what, you just shoot the ball. So when I look at McBride, I think McBride's going to come in this year trying to put it all together, his playmaking, his ball handling, and his shooting. So I do feel like it's still going to be McBride's spot to lose in the rotation. But I do feel like Tibbs is going to look at practice, look at how McBride performs with the second unit, and then make his decision from there. And I feel like if there's going to be a change within McBride, it's going to happen within like the first, it might be 15, 20 games or so. That's kind of the Tibbs way. He waits 15, 20 games, then he'll make the change. But I think that's how it'll go. But I think McBride will still end up being the backup, and Tyler's going to have to take it from him.
Beautifully said. I just want to tell everyone out there, if you're looking for knee-jerk reactions and hyperbole, KOT ain't the show for you, man. This is sound breakdowns with nuance and like real-time projections. Well said. I'm glad. I don't know why I decided to ask that, but I felt like you would have a really good answer for it.
I appreciate that.
You delivered. Well done.
Yeah. Yo, shout out Ebony. Shout out to Ebony. Man, I don't know what was happening. I saw you trying to get into to Zoom like for the last half hour or 20 minutes or something.
I'm in Massachusetts and it's not working right.
Yeah,
I guess my camera was giving me issues too.
Oh man, issues that give you tissues. But we just gonna let you go because Lee and I, we kind of just broke down everything. So we'll just let you go, and if we'll have anything to kind of chip in, we'll end up adding 2 cents. But we talked about Tyler. Maybe you want to talk about Tyler too, because I think most of Knicks fans are more excited about Tyler than anybody else. So if you want to start there, you can.
Yeah, funny. I start with Tyler, but you know who I was most excited to see?
Jacob
Pacome. No, Pacome. You know I'm a Jacob fan. So I'm watching with goggles or with Jacob already. I already know he a Tibbs type of guy, but I don't know. He might be maybe why they didn't sign Precious. Who knows?
Precious can still come back now. It's not over.
He can, but what I'm saying is why they didn't sign him. Maybe they need to see the summer league. Maybe somebody in summer league is intriguing them more than a Precious Achua type. So, but with Tyler, I was very impressed. And even though I'm not feeling him so tough right now, um, he'll be a good look for Mitch. He will be a good look
Absolutely.
for Mitch in our backup Jericho, because we do have a point guard who's pretty much score first and doesn't do too many lobs. I give Jalen Brunson credit, but them lobs, I wish he incorporated that more. Tyler's an unselfish player. One of the things from the highlights that I was looking for, and I'm gonna continue to look, was could he get into the paint in the NBA, because he was very left hand dominant.
Mm-hmm.
All his highlights were going to the left, but he did pretty well. Just getting into the lane and looking for others, getting others involved. I was this front office. What can I say? Building for tomorrow and now. I liked we don't, to me, again, everybody's trade, and me, it frees me. I'm like, pick somebody from out of here and make it work. What are they gonna, this is a perfect backup plan. Let them be the new Deuce. Let them develop in G League slowly, learn the system. Push come to shove. It's a long season. We need to rest somebody, nagging injuries, whatever the cases may be. These are the ready type players you want at the back of your end. And I seen Dwayne Washington trying to do stuff, but we ain't come to see you, Otis. We ain't come to see you, Otis.
He said, I got the juice now. All right.
Oh, I'm dead.
I'm the vet. I get the ball, bro.
Yeah, we ain't come to see. Can we please see Rokas, AB 1, 2, 3, and Tyler together for a period of time, please? Pretty please. That's all I ask for the next summer league. I know Dwayne CAA. I get y'all take care of your guys, but come on now, we ain't come see you, Otis. So I like Tyler. I seen a little jump shot he had. I think he could definitely be somebody we can plug in. It's just that yeah, I'm excited. I don't like the fact that people trying to throw Deuce to the side. Like, y'all some ungrateful folk, and I'm starting to realize there's a certain theme, but we're not gonna get into that. It's just yeah, Deuce is gonna come back. I know. I'm not saying that Tyler can't take the take some minutes or whatever, but I feel that Deuce is doing a better job towards the end of the job, learning the balance between getting his shot and getting others involved.
Right.
So if he was picking up steam, then we already seen Deuce is a workhorse. If you stay in the gym, you're going to get better. Pretty much the game, he's gotten the experience. So the game hopefully slows down a little bit more for him. I just yeah. So pump your brakes. I know Tyler looks good in summer league, but so did Kevin Knox. Let's not wild out. I
agree. Nah, he's a starting point guard. He's a starting. I think Jalen Brunson needs to come off the bench. That's what I say. just going on today. What I see, Tyler is a pure point guard. Jalen Brunson is a chucker. So we should put Jalen off the bench and start Tyler. No? Okay.
Jumping out the window after one summer game. I like Tyler what I see, but again, we gotta. It's Kevin Knox scarred me for life. So you got to take summer league for what it is and see what they bring, flashes of what they can bring. I think. Yeah, like I said, I could go on to the next one. Postgame. A lot of people were saying up and down that he was more of a offensive player. Like I heard everything about his offense, his jump shot, his handle, blah 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 blah. But I didn't hear much about his defense or playmaking, and I saw a lot of that yesterday. It was actually when he was doing well. His shot had left him. He may be playing tight, nervous.
Yeah, he was definitely nervous.
Yeah, because he had a couple air balls type vibes. Yeah. So it happens. He's 18, 19 years old. He's still a young kid, and it's the first game again. So if this continues to happen, then okay, we could have a conversation. But other than that, he's probably really tight. I like that his playmaking though. That was like, okay, I see you. I see you. Get into the lane when he wants to. It was easy for him to get there. He couldn't finish all the time, or he would dump it into the bigs or to the 3-pointer. So that works because we have a team where it's very unselfish. And you could just plug him in, kind of vibes, but his defense again, that wasn't mentioned, and he was in Brandon Miller's face. He was competing with him, not backing down. causing some turnovers. That was pretty impressive for me. That's an NBA player, that he plays in the NBA. So to see that is cool. Ariel Porter, yeah, I like his touch. I like his touch. He was a little up and down, but I did see the touch there. I still, Team Jericho, but but
I still have a little bit of Jericho stock. I know everybody's talking. I still got a little bit. I still got a little Jericho stock, man.
Yeah,
David.
I can't give up.
I seen David, the trainer. He be turning people to shooters. I been seeing him, bro. Like he be turning people to shooters. I still got some Jericho stock.
Yeah, now you have to let him be trash first. If he trash everybody, come on, look at your guy. I'm cool with that, but let him be trash first.
Yeah.
Let him do that. People compare him to other people, but when you look at him against those people, when he gets a chance, you see highlight reels. You see highlight reels. Shout out to Brutus who mentioned that he has a winning record when he starts. I think he said 19 and something, like 19 and 11 or something, like some of the case, but he has a winning record when he gets some playing time. He had the highest plus minus on the team for a minute. Like that comes from impactful play. You're doing the right things on the court. People need to let Jericho be. Let him show first.
Yeah. I think injuries had a lot. I feel like the year that he did well was the year he was probably the most healthy. So I want to see what happens this year. Hopefully he stays healthy. But
you remember Tibbs was starting him for a minute too, Jay. He did get injured, like you said. You mentioned the injuries, problems, and then iHeart ascended.
Yeah.
iHeart took that over, said it's mine. So I think Jericho, if you give him the time, he will look like what people want in the Walker Kesslers and things of that nature. But you have to give him an opportunity to get those type of consistent minutes and see, especially with this type of team. All you really got to do is box out, rebound, and pass the ball. Yeah. Play defense, box out, pass the ball. You stay on the floor. The center position is not getting many shots. So I think with the center position, we okay.
I agree. And it's fun. I don't know. I still feel like February might be the time to make a move and not just to see what we have first. But I know some people they see the championship windows and we don't want to wait till February. I get that theory too. I can see that side too, because we do have a team that can compete right now. But man, I at least want to see what these guys do in training camp. At least, I feel like, especially when Hartenstein, when someone got traded and he's like, "Oh, I'm next up," you start rubbing your hands. Like, I'm gonna get some reps in. You might take things a little even more serious. I don't know. I want to see what happens, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll trade for Jalen Duren or Segun or whatever. Who knows?
Like, definitely. You have to let them see, show what they can do first before you break it all up. You definitely have to do that. Especially when you don't have to make the moves. You see the rookies; they're pretty capable. Even the big man was okay. Like, a little stiff for me. Yeah. The Dimitri guy, but he can probably play too. When if need be, if you need to plug him in, know the system, stuff of that nature. So I think we're good. We have a good problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Someone said Mitch gets injured, you were screwed. I mean,
nah.
Possibly. That is still a concern. That's still a concern.
But to me, it seems like manifestation. That's the first thing we say all the time. How about we not talk about that and just wish our guy well? Like, come on, guys. Like, how many times are we gonna say the same thing? Like, it's almost manifestation. Let's just let him play. And again, he doesn't have to do as much. It doesn't have to be as much movement. He doesn't have to cover as many mistakes. He doesn't have to jump up and down as many times. It's more stationary. It'll be less stress on him. He's gonna be playing with Mikal and OG. Like, that's the big difference between RJ and the Quentin Grimes type of vibes.
Facts. Super true.
Yeah. Good point.
And then Randall he competes when he wants to. He's a watcher at times. And then, Brunson gives you effort. He's not going to be the best defender. His size, I think, prevents that. But it's just like, It's a team effort. When you don't have to do it all together, it makes it easier. Your job easier. It's less work. You can focus on what you're good at.
Bill Nick says Tibbs can put me at center, and we will have me hooping. Tibbs is the center whisperer. I ain't worried about it.
Facts, though. At this point of time, no, you just pick, plug, and play. Just like last, it's a system. Everybody, the other parts are a well-oiled machine. You just need really the center position just needs to set great picks, play good defense, get the rebound, pass the ball out, like the normal fundamental stuff. That's it. That's all you have to do, and that could, for a short period of time, that could be anybody. Me and Lee.
Yeah. Too funny.
My 5'7" self. Get that out of here, Paul George.
Nah. Keep that man on the floor. Let's get these doctors working. Have them earning their paycheck. All right. Any more insights? Any more insights before we wrap it up?
Shout out Walt Perrin, man, for continuously replenishing the well with incredible talent, two-way talent, and always addressing the needs that the Knicks have moving forward. Thinking about the future while adding depth to the present is, as Ebony said, I think essential for this team, and he's done a really great job. I believe that was a first or second hire that he made. I think Brock Dowler was first, and then Walt Perrin. Walt Perrin's been so good at drafting not just the guys that we've kept and developed, but the key pieces that we've ended up trading to really build a championship team. So shout out to him, man, and having that small team mindset coming from Utah and needing to draft for the knowing that your only talent is coming to the draft and prioritizing that. Walt Perrin's brought that type of mentality in New York, and now we have the great drafting and the great free agency, which is impeccable.
Right. And speaking of drafting and draft guys, tomorrow we have a treat. Shout out to my guy, the KOT publicist, Alina Escobedo. We have ex-Knicks scout Alex Klein coming to the program tomorrow to kind of break down the rookies that we have over here. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We will be live streaming tomorrow talking with Alex Klein. So come back here tomorrow. We're going to be talking Knicks basketball. We're going to be talking about the rookies and from an NBA scout, buddies. Let's go.
I'm trying to bring on multiple voices from different parts of the interwebs and real life to talk about this group of rookies. So I think this is going to be a special group. This might end up being the best rookie class that we brought in, maybe even better than the Sims and Bride and Grimes trio. I think there's a lot of special talent here and a super high ceilings that already have guys that have high floors.
Right.
You have a guy that's overseas that we kind of like forgot about because we got Tyler now. That's overseas doing his Dizu and Rokas. You know, he's pretty much a scorer himself in his own right. So just watching him, if he stays, because I heard he's trying to get another. Zaire, what are you doing, baby? Excuse me, thank you. Sorry, my son's wild. So you have Rokas over there. You don't know what he's capable of doing just yet. So to watch him, if he gets to play another game, that's cool to see. He showed me some flashes. I see somebody. I just wanted to shout out the chat real quick because somebody said the Sims is stiff. He's our best perimeter big, so I don't know how stiff that can make it be. And he also and somebody said that iHeart played great defense. He played great defense during the regular season. He played average defense in the playoffs. So I don't know. You could do with that what you will.
Yeah.
He when we needed him most, he kind of, to me, disappointed.
So I will die on the hill that OG going down in the playoffs changed our entire defense. Yes. So I don't put all that on. I'll die on that hill.
But I'm gonna say that's why I kept telling you there's levels to this, because that's why we got OG in the first place, because the defense with just iHeart looked a lot different. It looked a lot. The rim protection wasn't really there because they try him all the time. You can remember that OKC game. If you remember that Orlando game right before we traded for OG, it didn't look good. So that's why I said we make the system made him look a lot better than I believe he was. It's all right, but I think we got who we needed in that spot. He was average, and he needed the ball. Ihart needs the ball to be for his strengths. To me, we need the center without that can impact the game without, and I think we have two of those.
I still disagree with that. I don't think he needed the ball to
We're gonna have to agree to disagree because Ihart was getting
he didn't need the ball.
My man was getting dog. He said, "How you want it?" And B was like, "How you want it?"
Here's
Miles
the thing.
turned and said, "Oh, you're not gonna guard me? Okay, you're gonna let me shoot out here all day? You're not gonna make me move my feet? All right, Ihart. All right. He made Miles Turner actually look like a big. Come on.
That's because we don't have a real wing defender to guard their real wings. That's why I feel like OG was important. When Precious went, we tried to have Precious out there, right? We have a better team defense when Precious is out there, but Precious was a liability offensively, which means he couldn't be on the floor for long periods of time. So when you have Precious not being able to rotate and do everything else, our whole team defense kind of suffers. And now, so like, that's why I feel like you just can't blame Ihart for that whole thing.
I'm sorry, he ain't OKC. I could talk. I was giving him grace. That man was an average player. Average floaters, but average. We're gonna see though. It's a different system. You're gonna see though. That's all I'm gonna say. He's over there, so we'll see. That's it. And he went to the league where the bigs don't really reside either. I noticed that too. His own ball defense was crazy. They tried to switch him on Siakam to guard him in the post because he was cooking, and that didn't work. He cooked him every which way too. You talking about Precious, but we tried him on multiple different just to try to help slow people down, and it didn't happen. Now, if you would have done that with my guy Mitch, I don't think that's what it would have went down. So Ihart was the worst perimeter big we had. That's facts. His pick and roll was a little off. That's facts too. So like I'm sorry. He's in OKC. I'm not shaking behind for him no more.
If you have 2 to 3 bad, if you have Jalen Brunson who's like a at best a neutral defender, and then you have a below average defender next to him, the defense is going to fall apart. That's just, it doesn't matter who's next to him.
I get what you're saying, but when the defense falls apart and we had a Mitch, elite defender, that looks different. The hesitations, they don't. I'm not saying
it doesn't look different with Mitch. That's not my argument. My argument is,
I get it. I get what you're saying, but that's my argument. That's why I can't give Ihart the benefit of doubt because I see.
My argument is not that Mitch is not an elite defender. My argument is that the defense collapsing wasn't Ihart's fault. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I'm gonna have to disagree on that. He got torched.
I definitely agree with JLS on this, but the one point Ebony made that I think is absolutely true is that Joel Embiid dog walked Isaiah Hartenstein, and if we did not have Mitchell Robinson in that,
Mitchell Robinson was definitely the better defender versus 100%. Embiid. That's not even close.
Yes, yeah, and I think we're all in agreement there. But Isaiah Hartenstein was well above average in almost every metric, including rim protection and defense as well. He's above average in that. He's not as good as Mitch, but he's above average. And we're going to miss his passing and miss that floater, which was one of our 3 bailout options. But as Ebony said, he is an OKC, and he is now the op. I defended him, more than anybody here on the show when he was in orange and blue, but he's no longer in orange and blue. So, man, it's Team Mitch all day. And you know what? Unfortunately, maybe Team Sims too, even though I'm not super high on Sims. I'm going to back him because he's a Knick.
Absolutely. We got a Mitch Ihart Sims Precious debate in the last 5 minutes of the KOT.
It's all right. I'm not going to be doing too much debating about Mitch this year. Team Jericho over here.
Oh no, let's not do that.
Sherwin says we not miss Ihart with a healthy Randall.
Yeah.
A healthy Randall. Yeah, a healthy Randall could. Yeah. Essentially we needed Ihart even more because Randall was hurt.
Yeah.
So we needed more passing somewhere, and he provided that. So
remember JLS like 2 or 3 years ago, I said that Julius Randle was a good playmaker in the short roll, and we had that debate.
Yeah,
we're going to see now. We're going to see now, but it's going to be dependent on more than ever for him to be the playmaker with the starting 5.
Nah, for real. And Julius Randle's passing got better last season from last season, because we had that season. We had the debate, I think, the season before. Randall's passing from the season before to last season jumped from me. Like to me, even that Miami game, the game he got injured, to me, that was probably one of his best passing games of his career. Happened that game where he was getting double and triple teamed, wasn't turning the ball over and finding the ball in people's hands on the dime. It was like watching freaking poetry. I was like, holy crap, who is this guy? So he was on a different level. Hopefully he can kind of bring that back to this season.
I think the recipients of his passes matters as well in how we view him as a playmaker. And he was a good playmaker when he had Evan Fournier on the perimeter. They had a nice 1-2 man game too. When he
Reggie Bullock too.
Yes, and Reggie Bullock. But when he's passing to R.J. Barrett and passing on Quentin Grimes or passing on Josh Hart, guys who had stretches in their career, both regular season and postseason, where they brick the shit out of the ball. Yeah, he doesn't look as efficient as he would otherwise. And he might know that too and end up trying to barrel through their lane, knowing the guys that are a shot and made a turnover prone. So I think it's there. We are going to need it. And Tibbs, I think that needs to be a point of emphasis. Don't just get your 25. Make other guys better around you.
I think it's kind of, I'm gonna compare it to the Liberty team. It's kind of where everybody is in their career. They're not chasing personal accolades right now. It's all about proving those that said they couldn't do it wrong. He's done his All NBA. He's made an All-Star game. They had defensive player of the years already and making all defensive team. They want a bunch of people that they said weren't good enough. They're trying to get a championship together. So I think you're going to see a lot of sacrificing, and it's going to be a learning curve. So please don't think it's going to come out guns blazing. You might see a lot of turnovers because they do have so many weapons. You might see overpassing because they do have so many weapons. But I think that this team, the fact that they're a family and they're going to sacrifice for each other, they're going to try to get the best available shot instead of the best available shot for themselves. Just in general, it's going to look different. It's easy, and especially for Randall. I used to tease him all the time about them emergency bailout passes. Him and JB. I used to call Josh Hart the emergency exit. They give grenades to him. Take it. Take it. 3 seconds left in the clock. You got to do something with it. But you have good grenade options, I guess, if you want to say. When you surround them with a bunch of shooters, it's just like, okay, help me out, whoever. And I give it to them and I trust them. So that's why I think you're going to see a lot of turnovers at first, because everybody trusts each other to make the right play. And I'm just excited to see it.
Me too. I really want to see how Randall adjusts from the ISO to the new motion offense that we kind of implemented in last year. I really want to see how that works out, what that transition looks like. But shout out to the chat. If you like the show, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share as well. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Picks for Timmy, my guy Picks for Timmy. Shout out to Everything Knicks. Shout out to Big L. Shout out to Big Chino in the building. I see you, Big Chino. And David Smith. Chino. David Smith says iHeart was a perfect pick. Greg Lee says, yo, let's go Knicks Nation. Peace to Jay Ellis, Ebb, and Lee. Let's go. Big Chino says Fartenstein is old news. Okay.
I'm not coping with Hartenstein. We're going to miss his 2 floaters a game, 4 assists a game. I'm sorry. We can get that elsewhere.
Nick said Embiid shot 38% against Mitch. There's no debate. Nah, Mitch shut him down. He had to pretty much get the cheap fouls to get Mitch out the game, pretty much. He had to kind of depend on the refs to get Mitch out the game. That's how I saw it anyway. Kolik's a playmaker, says Big L. Gregory Lee says Randall can supplement iHeart passing, but if Randall lessens his scoring and helps focus on distribution, will lead to more kickouts. He'll average about nearly 10 assists. I can see, I feel like, 10 assists. Maybe like, I don't even know who'll average even more assists. I almost feel like the way this team is built, I feel like assists might be spread out like amongst the players.
Yeah.
If it'd be like Spurs like almost. If we do it.
It's the type of team that at any moment, any day, somebody else can go off. It's just whose night is it,
It's more hockey assists is what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Sherman says, no, the Knicks run a motion triangle offense. Hart took Randall's spot on offense.
They do run triangle. True.
Mm-hmm. Knicks Nation, our strength is having two opposites at center. I hope we have the same this year. I agree.
I agree too. I agree, and I think we kind of do with the fact of that's why I didn't want Walker. I like Walker, but I didn't see it because they have the same flaws. Iheart did bring the passing and a option for the floater, so that offset Mitch. You know what I'm saying? If you needed a certain vibe, you needed an extra playmaker, we would put in Iheart. Sims has shown in little bits and pieces that he can pass stuff. He had a couple back doors and things of that nature.
Small.
So he showed but he also had a small sample size in playing too. So when he was getting consistent minutes, you seen backdoor cuts. You seen he also can dribble. Sims is not afraid to dribble to the guard. So so maybe we see more of that. And also what Sims does that I think that Mitch got better at, but Sims does better is we can switch everything with Sims. So imagine a OG and a Mikal, and then you can switch everything with your big. Like that is crazy. That's nuts. So that's why I give Sims a little yin to yang. And then it's funny that again these Tibbs quotes are coming out because I seen him against I can't say his name. Say Hakapo. Ariel. I see him against Ariel. There we go. I see him against Ariel. Yeah, there you go. I see him against Ariel, and he was doing his thing with his offense. Seeing some floaters in there, like he looked confident. So I don't know if his confidence took a hit, and he just playing with in the system. Like Iheart said that he was in the box that got him $84 million though. So he said he was in the box. So maybe, again, like we mentioned, Tibbs has a system. If you go out of it and it doesn't work, you sit down. So he just stays within the team.
That could be it. I still feel like Tibbs kind of simplify. I think he takes things away and then gives them back. I think that's what Tibbs does. He's like, you want to do all this? You haven't perfected this first. So before you do this, do this. Okay, cool. All right, you can do that now. Now you can do this. I think that's how Tibbs works. Like I said about McBride earlier. But yeah, man. Good talk, guys. Good talk. If you like the show, please hit that like. We got 33 likes, 81 viewing. Hit those likes, man. Support the channel. Super chats are also welcome, but if you can't do super chats, the likes and the shares are valuable as well. So we definitely appreciate that. But yeah, that's our show. Gotta get moving. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Like I said, tomorrow, be sure to rock with us tomorrow around 6 o'clock. Alex Klein will be joining us to talk about our Knicks rookies and breaking that down. All right. So shout out to ex-Knicks scout, Alex Klein. And shout out to our KOT publicist, Lee Escobedo. All right. All right. So Lee, let them know where they can find you, man.
I want to shout out the maker of this shirt. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the essential 90s movie Kids, directed by Larry Clark and written by Harmony Kornmine. It's just about a group of very lost youth in Washington Square Park that are skateboarding, doing drugs, and all kinds of other offensive things. But it was really one of the great indie films of the early 90s. And at Knicks Stan on Twitter made this shirt with the rookies. So instead of the four main characters of the film on the letters, it's our four newest rookies.
Nice.
So Walt Perrin and Leon Rose. So I was the first one to buy it. Gave me a cute shout out on Twitter. I appreciate it. You can find him at TheKnickssStan. He's a great follow on Twitter, a great Knicks content creator, and I like supporting the homies, the entrepreneurs.
Hold on a second. Big gunshot from Nate Smith, who gives us a $50 super chat. What? Okay. My man got his taxes back late. I appreciate you. Just for the support. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat.
I love you. Love you, mama.
Let's go.
I make you a mod just for that.
Mama Eve, I love it. Oh, book club. I almost forgot. I've read so much, but I wanted to shout out one that I think is important for our time. This is Black Meme by Black philosopher Legacy Russell. And it's a beautiful book on the moving image of Black people in America. And it traces from D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation and the pamphlets that talked about the murder of Emmett Till in the early 20th century, all the way to the Rodney King beating video, the Clarence Thomas hearings, the O.J. Simpson chase, the Magic Johnson HIV awareness video, and leading up to the use of African Americans primarily as memes and jokes on social media, and why the moving image can be so profound and powerful, but why it's been mostly used to degrade and disseminate images of torture and death for a certain community. And she breaks it down, not just in philosophical terms, or very accessible terms, and how that's been very planned and purposeful in keeping otherness other. And it's a really great book. It's very short, actually, and she goes through like 10 certain images throughout American history that have basically kept people enslaved mentally, and use the mass media market as the methodology to disseminate those messages and mediums. It's an incredible book. I highly recommend. That's Black Meme by Legacy Russell.
Black Meme.
Man,
because you got the Turner. Yeah.
Yo, that's what's up. That's
okay,
what's up.
I see it.
Yo, yo, it's funny. I seen a comedian say this, and it's funny when he said this. I've been thinking this for a long time, and then he said it out loud. Like, I feel like prejudice against Black people is pretty much bad marketing. It's like when somebody has control of marketing narrative for so long and just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Like, you kind of almost subconsciously think it is truth, to the point where it just brainwashes everybody. And it's not even just brainwashing other races, like even our own race, it brainwashes.
Yes.
So it takes a lot to kind of mentally get out of the brainwashing that's happened since America. I think I got real deep real quick, but
yeah.
It's all right. Now you spitting just now, though. Facts.
I'm obviously not Black, but I think it's most important to read books and ideas of people who are not yourself, and to try to get as many points of view as you can, so you make the best decision on what matters to you in your life. And this country is started by some unforgivable sins, in my opinion, with the Native Americans, especially the African Americans, and how they've treated immigrants across the world, including women. But it's still the greatest country on earth, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, because I can get on this podcast and I can say these things and I can demonize America and still love America and not be persecuted for it. So God bless America. God bless the KOT team.
I hear you. Shoot,
Definitely.
and I always say, shoot, my ancestors built this country. Y'all owe me money, so y'all ain't kicking me out. Y'all might listen.
Going down with the shit.
Y'all owe me money, damn it. The reason why Chase Bank is here, the reason why Bank of America is here, the reason why all you guys had all these big old banks who didn't have to pay nothing for all these years, because y'all had 400 years of free labor. Think about free labor for
100%.
a company. Think about free labor for a startup. How that helps them save money, and what that did for America. They owe me money. I ain't going nowhere. Pay me
African
first.
Americans paid America
That's how
great.
I was about to make it sure y'all owe me money. It's like, who's y'all? Who's y'all? If you get it, you get it. Y'all owe me money. All right.
I think one of the reasons why I love America so much is America looks like an American can look at everybody and everyone. And I think that's really beautiful, but there's no monolith. I love the diversity in this country, and I always want it to be diverse as possible. It's beautiful.
For sure. Mm-hmm. All right. All right, let's go, Ebony. Let them know where they can find you.
You can find me at Mad Knick Fan on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me here after every post game on Twitter. Was it Twitter? I know he's about to change it. It's always still going to be Twitter for me. On Twitter, you can find me every post game with Bowling with the Queens after the Liberty game, and on Tuesdays at 7 at a Liberty Latte with the Morning Brew Group. So, that's
what's up.
it. I had something else I wanted to say. Now I forgot. My memory shot. But, geez. All right. When I think about it, hopefully I think about it before we leave.
Hopefully you think about it. I'm about to. Hopefully you think about it before I do my spiel. All right. So you can find us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick Of Time Show on Instagram and Facebook. Even though I haven't been really, man. Whew, once I get my $1 million, I'll have everybody update the other platforms. I have not been updating Instagram lately. I'm not gonna hold you because it'd be a lot going on. But you can find us at the KOT Show on Instagram, the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick Of Time Show on Instagram and Facebook as well. And you can find we do post game shows here. Now the summer league schedule is kind of funky. They'd be having games during work hours and stuff where I gotta check in with the man in them. So we're gonna try our best to get some shows and do some after the fact or whatever. We're gonna try our best to do some post games, even though it might not be right after the game. So try to stay tuned for that. Oh, y'all feeling generous today. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Shout out to Julian Blum who says, "Don't stop digging. You will find the enlightenment and knowledge." Appreciate that.
Amen.
Shout out Julian,
Amen.
my guy.
Appreciate that.
You.
A Train said, "This is this beautiful. I can read, guys. This beautiful panel is America. The concept of KOT is America." I appreciate that.
Amen, bro. 100% agree.
Facts.
100%.
Oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say since we shouting out shirts, right? I don't know if y'all can see this because my camera, I don't want to move it. That's why I was having problems. I think my camera got a shortage in it. But
Nice.
Hey.
that's me. That's by me.
Aye.
And shouts out to Stan. He's good dude though. Good dude.
Man. Whew.
Yes.
Cool. All right. That is the show, guys. We are out of here. David Smith says he wants to trade for Segun, Shagun, or Cat. Definitely not Cat.
Yeah, not Cat. Sengun, though.
Huh?
If you're talking about Alperen Sengun, man, I'll hop on that conspiracy.
I know you in the
theory.
Segun train. You're in the
I want
Segun
him
train.
bad, bro. That's my guy.
I'm cool with Duran backup. I feel like that could be
too.
possible. So if I could Duran
Just don't
back.
trade Mitch.
Hmm?
I want Mitch on this team. I want Mitch to lift that trophy because he's been here since the trenches.
I feel
Never
you.
trade Mitch. I'll never change that.
Yes, Sengun is cool. He's like a big, but his defense is lacking. I don't know how Tibbs will deal with that.
Yeah.
It's got better, Ed. It got way better last year. Under
Yeah.
Udoka. He improved dramatically.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, that's the show. You can definitely, I probably need to cut that. Probably need to clip that up because we definitely had a really good discussion about Sengun. We had a really good discussion about Sengun, Duran,
Yeah.
with Fritz. That was a really good episode. So if you didn't check that out, we kind of talked about why Duran might be, if Duran is actually on the trade block, why that might be more doable. Kind of check that. I try to talk about that. So definitely check that out. Shout out to my mom. Happy birthday, Mom. She turned 65 a few days ago. I have to
Happy
go.
birthday, Mama Ellis.
Yeah. Shout out to Mama Ellis. I have to go meet her today, so I might have time to clip up videos, but I'll clip it up at a certain point so y'all can be me. So it'll be easier for you guys to find that conversation. All right, cool.
She raised a real one. I love it.
All right, that's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and as always,
shout out the worldwide west. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That's the show. We out this mug.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.